How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Box to Box. I'm with Jack from Matchday Vlogs, Southampton fan, obviously. What are you saying, Jack? All good?
Yeah, mate, all good. Ready for another big chat about the weekend. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're both coming into it on poor form, so we're both hoping for a little turnaround in fortunes. But listen, people, I've tagged Matchday Vlogs in the title. You can see it there. As I said, Southampton fan. Is it you and Mike that run the channel?
Yeah, it's me and Mike that runs it, mate. He does all the hard work, and then every so often I just come along and steal all the glory.
Yeah,
So
still the
I'm,
limelight.
I'm a tapping merchant, mate. That's what I am. That's
Say no
pure and
more.
simple. Always have been. I was too fat to run back to defend. Just got a goal.
6-yard box, tap it in, all the glory.
Oh,
Why
mate.
not? Why not? Big up Jack and big up Mike as well, obviously. And like I said, Matchday Vlogs in the title, all their socials in the description below. Show some love. And yeah, let's start with Southampton. Obviously, last week's result, 6-0 at home against Chelsea. But you've lost 5 of the last 6, I believe. It's been a little while since you've lost one.
Yeah, mate.
What's outside looking in with Southampton? I look at Hassan Hutu as a good manager, but every season in the past 3, there's been moments where I look at Southampton and think they're building, it's going well, and then there's moments in the season where it just all seems to crumble, and then it moves on to the next.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The Chelsea game is probably it's been the most heartbreaking thing that's happened for a while, because you're right. Southampton do go on these runs were really good. Like say last season, the first half of the season was fantastic. It was the first time we ever went to the top of the league. It was crazy. Yeah. And then we got riddled with injuries. We absolutely bombed the second half of the season. It was terrible. But that was down to more. It was style of play was still, they were still trying to press every week. We're still trying to really run that one play. But also we were so just ravaged with injuries. It was ridiculous. That United game, the one where they scored all those goals. Yeah. We had, I think it was 8 academy players and 2 goalkeepers on the bench, and then a man down after 4 minutes. It was just we just couldn't handle it. And then in the summer we didn't spend a lot. We've had the proper sort of problems with the owners the past few years, new owners this summer, so that's something exciting to look forward to. But Ralph's done so much work with the team that he's had, and there really is a progression there. The really annoying thing is, before the Chelsea game, we were all really happy. We're all, this is all great. It's such a progression from where we were last season. We're seeing a team that really gels, a back line that's been better than we've had in years. And then out of nowhere, we play Villa. We lose 4-1 in that game, and then it just unravels from there. And then the Chelsea last week was, as a Southampton fan, being 4-0 down at halftime was really scary. It's awful because we know what could happen. But he did change a little bit, and he did try to adapt it somewhat, and it was 6, but it could have been way more. It was it was awful. It really felt like a huge bit of regression. Yeah, but there is there. I know from the outside looking in at what it looks like, but I promise you, it's such a gel of the team. There's not a player in that team that I don't like, and it's been a long time at Southampton. Well, maybe Alex McCarthy, the goalkeeper, but that's we're allowed to hate goalkeepers. Everyone is working at their fullest. Everyone's working really well, and there's only forward to go. And we are at a part of the season now where we're safe, great, and nothing. It is the season's over for us. It's just, where do you finish now? And I think that kind of slept into the last few performances. Losing to Newcastle and Norwich, Newcastle and Watford on the bounce. Oh, that shouldn't happen. No matter who you are this season, that shouldn't happen. So it's been really hard the past few weeks. So leading into this for you, it looks really good. Us going in to play you, it's looking hard, because no, not everyone's up on this current Arsenal squad and what the form's been like recently, but the squad itself, I think, are really, really good. I think this is probably your best playing squad together in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, as you was talking there about Southampton, and you were struggling to find the words on how to explain the progress, but you're a Southampton fan. You see it inside out. It sounded like the argument that a lot of Arsenal fans make for Arteta and the current. Exactly the same in terms of, it's hard to really quantify it. It's hard to really say without top 4. There's a clear indicator of it, but looking within, like you mentioned, being connected to the players again. That's exactly how I feel about the players this season. You know, there's a lot more connection. A couple of years ago, I was fed up with a lot of them. This season, I actually like the majority of them, and I feel connected. And even the ones that I want to move on from, or I want to upgrade upon, they've done a job at points this season. It just seems like when push comes to shove, the business end, Crystal Palace is one thing, Jack. Crystal Palace is one thing. Monday night, Vieira added incentive. It's the Brighton one that really.
That'll sting.
Yeah,
losing to Brighton sucks because it's Brighton and it shouldn't happen. But you're right. The problem with projects in the Premier League is that there's not a lot of time. And Arteta, he started off strong with the FA Cup, so expectations that going after that were like, right, hit the ground running, here we go. And the thing is, it is a project, and I know that it's hard to see like Lacazette. Is it more assists than goals this season for meant to be your striker? And there are things in there that you're like, okay, that is annoying, but there is a process. And as a Southampton fan who has seen their team lose 9-0 twice and still be like, there's a process here. There is a gelling, that there's something going on here, and the team is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I can understand. I can see it with Arsenal. I can see from the inside of like, there's this really good progression here, and there are these young players coming through. I know there's young players that are out on loan that maybe shouldn't be. I don't know. I don't. Gwen Dozie, I can't see why he couldn't get a place in the squad. They're players that I think could do stuff for you. So it could be better. It can be run better, but I can see where it's going. It's more about the higher ups of you, isn't it? It's everything behind the scenes. That's the problem.
Yeah. Again, you mentioned your owners as well.
Mate.
What, you're getting new owners this summer or last summer?
We've got them, mate. So they came in just before Christmas. We got a nice big Serbian billionaire, but it's a part of a can't remember what they're called, what their conglomerate's called, but they're starting kind of like a Red Bull system where they're buying a few teams all to work within a system.
Yeah,
it's all done on. It's really interesting reading about. I think it's Rasmus Ankerman is kind of the guy that runs it all. So it's going into the summer is quite exciting because now we're sort of looking from going from our limit for the past 4 transfer windows, maybe 5 transfer windows, has been 15 mil per player. That's kind of the max. Yeah. Maybe you could push it a bit further for a Danny Ings, but this is what you get him. But now we're being told, okay, we can still look at those players, and that's still going to be a priority, but with the idea that we can get those slightly bigger stars to come in. So this summer is really exciting for us. Before that, we had a chap called Mr. Gao in China, and he was a Chinese investor. And obviously, was it last season, the season before, all the Chinese investment got pulled out of the Premier League, so he didn't put anything into the squad.
Yeah.
But he didn't stop us doing anything. He didn't take money out of the club. He didn't do anything like that. So you can not like him because he didn't do anything, but in reality, he was like, I can't do anything. I'm going to set out of the club. Yeah. You're just going to have to deal with this in the time. So it's been annoying. It's been hard to sort of dealing with that. And that sort of caused some friction in the fan base of like, where should point the anger at?
Yeah.
But going forward now, we're all quite excited. That's why Ralph, even with these sort of what's happening this season, he still hasn't been backed. Our transfer window this summer was great. In reality, Broja, Livramento, Peru, we picked up some really great players, but there's another level to go. When you look at the players that Villa got in, when you look at the players that Wolves get in, it's so much harder to be at the top, be in that top half of the league now. It's ridiculous. Like it's getting out of. So hopefully this summer, that's when we're going to see a slight upgrade. It's a big talk. We're excited.
Outside looking in, and last summer, obviously I seen Ings leave, Vestergaard leave. I thought, I didn't think it was a good summer for Southampton. But I actually didn't think it was a great summer for Arsenal either. But then you look back at the majority of the signings, and they've actually, helped turn around that connection with the club. So what do I know? You mentioned one player in particular, Broja. There's been a lot of hype about him this season. He's on loan from Chelsea. It sounds like he's the next best thing. No one will know any better than a Southampton fan. So tell us, is it overhyped, or is he going to be a top player?
If he only gets better from where he is now, he'll be huge. He'll be massive. He's fantastic. He's everything you want in a number 9. He's big. He's strong. He's quick. He can get ahead on the ball. He can beat a man. The way he can get his body across the ball and win it and just muscle you out. He is kind of the perfect Premier League striker. He's fantastic. But to keep in mind, I think he's still 18, 19. Yeah. There's still so far to go. So to put that much pressure on him to be like, he's going to be amazing. I think kind of us arguing whether we're going to sign him this summer, and these numbers that Chelsea are putting on him, I don't think that's good for anyone. It's not good for us.
Well, what's the rumored quotes?
Well, it's gone all over the place. There was one point where they were saying 50 million, and then there's 40 million, 30, 10. It's gone all over the place. I couldn't even hazard a guess what they would want for him.
Yeah.
And, that puts pressure on a player to perform. Mm-hmm. So when he's stumbled a bit the past few games, everyone's like, Broja's out of form. It's like, yeah, but he's 19 and he's on, like, we didn't expect anything from him, really. We bought Adam Armstrong from Blackburn in the summer for 15 million. And he's contributed way more than Adam Armstrong. And, we're at a point of the season now where a lot of people are like, we should play Adam Armstrong because he's definitely going to be here next season. But I'm of the opinion of Broja's, he's so hungry for it. He's so hungry for it. I think Adam Armstrong is working his way into this game and he's getting used to this league, whereas Broja's like, oh, I'm going to run this league. And it's honestly, mate, when you see him play as a Southampton fan, it really gets your juices flowing. You're like, it's been a while. When the last big great Southampton squad was the one with Graziano Pella in there, and he's really reminiscent of that just big, strong striker who can just get on the end of stuff, do a bit of magic. Ricky Lambert, kind of the same sort of thing, slower, way slower. Yeah. But
that feeling you get I get you from a striker,
that you're just like, he's going to do something. He can get something out of the bag. He's going to get away from a player. And more times than not this season, he's done that, and he's been absolutely wicked. The first game where he probably was Crystal Palace away. Man, it just set the away fans off. I think when you do it when they do it on an away game for the first time, it's love instantly, isn't it? Because you're like, this guy, I didn't go home unhappy, so he's our boy, and that is what Broja did for us. So it's going to be tricky if we keep him in the summer, but I think he really is one to look out for. That's why it's going to be hard for us to keep him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Chelsea do, because they've just splashed down Lukaku, who hasn't, hit the ground running, to say the least, in the league. And they've got a loanee out there doing his thing where, a lot of people are looking at him as the next best thing. They might even loan him out to you guys again next season, potentially.
That's the thing. That's the other thing that we're sort of thinking of. Even if we get another season out of him, 2 seasons out of him would be great for us. But then again, I don't understand what's going on at Chelsea, whether they're allowed to sign players or not sign players. Yeah. I thought the free was going off the shirt. And Chelsea
forgot about that.
Yeah, right. And then I got to the game, I was like, they've still got the free on, and then there are fans at the games. I'm like, I thought all this was stopped. Are we not? All right, whatever. Okay,
actually, you're right. I don't know what happened, but it is what it is.
These sanctions are pretty loose. I reckon I can get away with some stuff,
Seems so. Looking at top scorers for Southampton, James Ward-Prowse and Shea Adams lead the line, 7 goals apiece. Yeah. Obviously, Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe, 9 goals apiece, lead the line for us. But James Ward-Prowse is a player in the past I've suggested Arsenal should really go in for, a set-piece specialist.
He wouldn't work for you, mate. He wouldn't work for you. Just leave him alone. He wouldn't work. No, just ignore him. He's asked.
Ignore it. Talk to me about him, though, man. Quality.
He's academy boy. He's been here close to 20 years now. That's nuts, isn't it? You think, look at him, close to 20 years, and he's still going. This is best season. He keeps getting better and better, to a point now, like some of the free kicks he scored this season. It's been insane. The one at Wolves was so good that we all watched it go in and just didn't believe it happened. We were like, that it took so long to go in and no one stopped it. It was just literally like, it really took moments to hit. And these, again, like we were saying with Broja, to have a player that's you get excited by him, like you really do, and he's such a workhorse. He hasn't missed a game of football at all. He does, and he's that player that you want to give you, 7 to 8 out of 10 every week. Every so often they get a 10, but he never really drops below, and you need that. He's a great captain. And the nice thing is, I kind of look at it now. You think he's 20, 27, 28? I'm kind of hoping he's going to be maybe a one club man. It's getting to a point. I'm like, 29, 30, the bigger clubs aren't going to go for him. And as long as Southampton are in a decent position, I think we kind of got him. And kind of like Newcastle with Shearer, if he gets the most free kicks over Beckham, that's like a little trophy for us. We'll put him in the cabinet. We'll put him in the cabinet for life. Yeah. So he's just our boy. It's Southampton, we're the academy club, we're the feeder club. And this is the one that we managed to keep hold of. and he's amazing, and he's our boy. You know, he's and the fact that he comes from a Portsmouth family makes it a little bit sweeter.
I didn't know that. Right, there you have it. He's someone I look at as a threat this weekend. Not only direct free kicks, but his set pieces in general, corner kicks and so on. And Shea Adams is a big threat in the box. What do you look at as Arsenal's main threat? What are you weary of? It's a bit difficult to kind of see Arsenal's lineup. Lacazette's missed training, I believe. So potentially we'll have Martinelli up top, or maybe Emil Smith-Rowe false nine, or maybe Eddie Nketiah just slots in and it's the same format he's been going with. Well, you know, what do you see as our biggest threat going into the game?
I'm sure there's a lot of teams in Southampton's position that'll say that, but this is the game where I'm kind of happy you said Lacazette's missed training, because this is they do score against us. Like Werner scored, I think 25% of his Premier League goals against Southampton. If your striker don't score, he scores against Southampton. But Bamford's out of form, get him in there. Jimenez, bang, first goal back. We just attract it. So it's that I'm worried about. That thing that with Arsenal, with Southampton, it's never the obvious threat from the opposition teams. I'm not worried about Saka and Martinelli, even though I am. I will be, because they're wicked. It is the sort of slightly like, I wouldn't be surprised if Cedric scored. That's the sort of, do you know what I mean? Like it will come from that position where it really shouldn't have come from, and maybe more so Cedric, because you know you got him from us, and it's those sort of outside of thoughts. I feel like if Southampton are going to let it slip, given the Chelsea game, they need to be defensively. We need to be on lock. It needs to be a really big performance from us. I'm really, really sort of begging for a clean sheet this game. That's if we can get that, it'll be an absolute godsend. But if we're going to let it slip, I do feel it's going to be that sort of thing where, you know, Granit Xhaka is going to score an absolute world. Do you know what I mean? Something a bit
out of the ordinary.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
because that's the thing with you guys. Like I said, I love watching Arsenal play football this year. I've really been enjoying it, because I think either way the games are entertaining for a neutral. But it is those young. I just like Saka. Saka's wicked, isn't he?
Yeah.
How much? Like I feel. I guess you the way that I feel about Prowse and those sort of players. You see Saka doing his thing. You're like,
exactly. I'd love it to see Saka still here, 26, 27, 28. You know, and to see the player he's going to become. Emil Smith-Rowe too. You know, he struck me this season. You know, that contract and the number 10 shirt. That's a heavy burden to take up at such a young age, but he kicked on this season. You know, he's been one of our most productive players on and off the pitch in terms of coming off the bench. Martinelli, ever since Oba, you know, got banished from the club, Martinelli stepped in and provided something. So, you know, our youngsters have really kept the club, you know, alive this season, in my opinion. Let's do the predictions now, Jack.
Yeah.
Let's do the predictions. Are you confident?
No, God, no. I was at the Chelsea game, mate. I'm it's through the floor right now. But I'm always more of the belief of really, you got to give them your fullback and going into it. And I do think after the run of games and that last performance, I feel there's no way you can't come out the gates given something. Even after when we lost the 9 games, next games came out a bit more pip, because we're like, we can't have that again. We can't do anything like that. So I'm more confident in that just trying to maintain. Like I'm really trying to maintain the clean sheet. I mean, that's where I put all my eggs in. But apart from that, up top, I'm a little bit weary. I don't know. Like Broja, like I say, has been a bit of a dip. So is Adam Armstrong. So it's going to be decided pretty early. I think it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be the first 10 minutes or the last 10 minutes. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, for sure. I think that's the way it is for us right now. If you come to Southampton and you do something in the first 10 minutes, we can't seem to come back from the game. But if we can get past the first 10 minutes, we really tend to kick on from them. And the same again, second half. We come out the gates flying, we're fine, but then there could be a dip. So that's where it is for me.
You're gonna stick your neck in the line, or shall I go first?
Oh God, you go first. So I got like a bar of how ridiculous.
Nervy one for me, because going into that Brighton game, I said, whatever Arteta decides to do with Tierney and Partey, this is probably the perfect game for us. Home to Brighton, who haven't scored in a little while, and look what happened, and that's kind of quelled the fire within for me. But I think Southampton are in a poor place, similarly to Brighton. Going into the game, poorer form than us. So I'm gonna say 2-1, but I can see a draw, Jack. I can see a 1-1. You know, I guess my head's saying 1-1 and my heart's saying 2-1 Arsenal, and I go with my heart and say 2-1, and hopefully we bounce back.
Yeah, I'm not far off of it. My head says go for 0-0 because that's what I want. I just want it to be. If we can get a point, I'm happy. But I don't do points, so it's going to be one. I'm going to say 1-0 because I want 1-0 to the boys. And it's nothing on you guys. It's just that we really need this. As much as you need it. I know you need it, but we need it too. Because look what just happened to us. I mean, Brighton's 2-1. That's all right, but it was slander what happened on that pitch. People should have had refunds that day. It was one of those games. So I needed to G up, needed to rally up, and do you know what I mean? Like when it's a home. When you're at home and you just feel like the whole stadium's at 90 minutes is like, oh my God, everyone's angry. Everyone's upset about this. This is a really bad vibe. I remember leaving and it just being quiet, just dead silent walk home. And it was Chelsea fans don't, they're not very that loud anyway. So they don't really hear them that much on the way home.
Yeah.
And it was just so somber. So just for the sake of everyone's hearts at the games, we need it.
So Jack's going 1-0 to Southampton. I'm going 2-1 to Arsenal. But we both can see potentially a slip up or points being dropped. We'll see how it goes, people. Listen, go and support Jack. Go support Mike Matchday Vlogs. It's in the title, in the description. The social media channels will be there as well. Jack, you're obviously at the game this weekend.
Do you know what? No, I've been muscled out of it. I had to give my ticket up tomorrow. I'm gutted. I'm working a 6-day week and I'm angry at everyone. But it's fine. This is my match day. You and me, this is my match day.
That's it. Tune in, people. Tune in. As always, hit the like button, people, and let us know your predictions in the comment section below. Thoughts, lineups, all of that, because there's a lot to talk about from the Arsenal perspective. Who do you want to see up front? Should Tavares come back into the side? And so on, people. As always, love for the love.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.